Okay, good day guys, good day to you all. Welcome back to the Formula Sports channel. Thanks for being here. So guys, I want to talk a little bit about this Ravel issue, right? And I think it's a very important issue to address because I think that it is a very delicate issue, right? And if this issue is mishandled, right, by all stakeholders of Jamaican football, whether it be coach, whether it be the coaching staff, whether it be the federation, whether it be Reggae Boyz fans, right? I am of the opinion that if this issue is mishandled, it's a delicate one, and if it is mishandled, it could prove seriously problematic in my opinion. And that is why I want to give you guys this video based on the information that I have received from credible sources to sort of set a balanced and fair rhetoric, right? And to address this particular issue in a fair manner, right? I know that a lot of people have been upset with our national head coach for for not including Ravel Morrison in this upcoming round of fixtures. And Reggae Boyz fans have been giving the head coach a hard time on this one, right? So I really wanted to speak a little bit about this because, as I said, it's a delicate issue, and it is best that, for me personally, I can help in how Reggae Boyz fans, right, handle this issue in terms of giving them a fair perspective, so to speak, or giving you guys basically the information about what is taking place. I'm gonna get into it, right? We hear that Daniel Johnson is now out. You know what is going to happen? It's interesting to see who DJ is replaced with. I'm not so sure at this time who DJ is going to be replaced with, right? But if it's not Ravel, Reggae Boyz fans are going to be a little bit upset, because Reggae Boyz fans are going to see that it is not footballing reasons why Ravel Morrison is not included in this team. So you guys would have heard the excuse in the interview from the head coach, right? Saying that basically it's football reasons why he wasn't selected, blah, 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 right? I'm not going to get into why the head coach did not select Ravel Morrison, right? Because I cannot speak to his subjective intention, so to speak, right? Because obviously I can't read his mind. But what I will tell you is that right now, from the credible information that I am receiving, the relationship between the head coach and the player in question is delicately balanced at this particular point in time, right? There has been issues, right? The player, the coach has not been impressed with how the player has comported himself, so to speak, right? In terms of Coach Whitmore has issues with Ravel. That is why he said if you give him an inch, he will take a mile. Theodore Tapper Whitmore. I'm trying to give you guys an idea. And, I have done this with other players as well. Give you guys an idea of what is taking place without putting a certain rhetoric out there about a player, right? I've done this with previous players in the past, and I'm trying to get that balance right now, right? Theodore Tapper Whitmore has not been impressed with certain actions of Ravel Morrison, right? And I'm not talking about on the field issues. I'm talking about off the pitch, right? He has not been impressed, right? And the two, from what I'm hearing from a credible source, is that the two had a bit of a disagreement at halftime in the Panama game. It culminated in both having a disagreement at halftime in the Panama game, right? But there were issues even before that. So now people are blasting the head coach and saying, how you have to leave out Lord Ravel out of the side, talking about every team has personalities, and these personalities must be properly managed, and this, that, and whatever. I'm going to be a little bit harsh on the player right now. What I'm hearing from credible sources is telling me that the player needs to step his game up. And when I say game, I don't mean on the field, I mean his professionalism. I'm gonna be blunt. I'm not gonna really get into it and put it out there what the issue is. But Lord Ravel Morrison, you are a very I'm gonna get on both Ravel and Tapper. But Lord Ravel, you are a very, very, very important player to this team. A very important player to this team. And hence, it is very important for you to lead from example. You have to realize that your words and your actions have consequences. You are a very, very, very important player to this team, right? It is in the best interest of the team that you conduct yourself in as professional a manner as possible, right? Even if I can speak to whether you like the head coach or you don't like the head, or whatever the issue is, right? It does not matter. You are a professional footballer, my boss, right? And a very important one to the national team. The actions that I am hearing, if true, you need to step up. Those actions are completely unacceptable. It don't matter the reasons. It does not matter the reasons. If these actions are true, and I'm hearing this from credible sources, right? If these actions are true, it does not matter the reasons for these actions. They are unacceptable. Straight up, they are unacceptable, especially coming from a player of such vital importance to our national team. Lord Ravel excluded from our team, and all of a sudden everybody had hurt then. Seeing, I would really, really appreciate it if the player were not to do the things that I've heard the player does. I heard the player did. I'm going to be straight up. Please, my boss, you're a very important player to the team. Shape up. Could the coach have handled? People are saying, manage the personality. He should not have been excluded from the team, right? Truth be told, I don't blame Coach Whitmore. When I look at it from a holistic standpoint, I don't blame Coach Whitmore for excluding Ravel Morrison from his team. Given the circumstances, I don't blame him. Right? Parallels have been drawn to actions of previous players. Right? and that it was handled differently, right? Similar kind of scenario, and that it was handled differently, right? Could I think that Tapa could have handled this a little bit differently? So far, yes, I do believe. I still don't think it was right for Theodore Whitmore to put this out in the public space and do the interview and say what he said. That's why I go get head coach Whitmore, Sir Whitmore. I think you handle a part there wrong, but me can't tell you how to run the thing, but I think you handle that wrong. In my humble estimation, it could backfire, right? And while I do believe that it was handled, the handling wasn't 100%. I don't blame you for excluding the player from the squad. Honestly, I'm not going to lie, I do not blame head coach Theodore Tapa Whitmore for excluding Ravel Morrison out the team. I know people are beating him, people are bashing him, but honestly, I don't blame him. And don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of Ravel. I am a huge fan of Ravel. But there are sometimes some actions just cross the line. Right? And then when you put that into the perspective of from the standpoint or the vantage point of the coach, given all the respective variables, you don't know how the coach would have internalized that particular scenario. And you don't blame him for looking at it from the standpoint that, from an objective standpoint, he is looking at it from. I personally don't blame him for looking at it from that particular perspective. But honestly, I wish our stakeholders would just shape up, man. Honestly, I wish all stakeholders in our national program would just shape up, man. But guys, I wanted to give you guys a sense of what is taking place. It is not footballing. Well, as I say, I don't know if I won't speak to that. I won't speak to that. But from my understanding, what I've heard that has transpired, it can't be a coincidence that happened in the last round of fixtures, and then this happened in this round of fixtures where Ravel was excluded from the team. So it culminated in a disagreement at halftime between player and manager, right? And it did not seem to be a very pleasant exchange. It started, as a matter of fact, it is even stated that it started from minute one, right? So all I'm going to say is, man, all our stakeholders need to shape up. And I'm also going to say that, guys, in my humble opinion, I think we need to be fair. Look, everybody knows that I'm not the biggest fan of Theodore Tapa Whitmore right now as head coach of our national team, but we still need to be fair to Theodore Tapa Whitmore. We still need to be fair and reasonable with the gaffer. Some of you may not approve of his decision making, etc., etc. We still need to be fair and analyze each case on its merits. Right? While I do believe and I do agree that it could have been handled slightly differently, I don't blame the coach for taking the position that he has taken. Hopefully, though, right, and that's why I'm saying, guys, in my opinion, you guys kind of need to lay off the harsh bashing of Mr. Whitmore on this particular issue, right? In my humble opinion, I can't tell you guys what to do. Hopefully, this issue is resolved in a relatively quick and smooth manner. Hopefully, the hierarchy needs to get involved. This player is a very important player to our national team. Mediators need to be brought in. The situation needs to be addressed and dealt with. Reggae Boyz fans want to see Ravel Morrison for the next upcoming round of fixtures. Right? So guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, stay safe, and until next time.